Hi guys, back with another rambling, and I'm not quite sure if a few people maybe didn't see the joke as a joke last video. I definitely didn't mean it in any bad way, but I've planned this video for so long, and for everybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it is the end video where I made it seem like I would end my channel. And it got a little bit more few dislikes than usually, so I'm not quite sure if maybe people were a little bit pissed off because of that. But I didn't mean it in a bad way, just for you to quickly see. I've planned this video or something like that for since Flappy Bird came out. Because I've planned something similar, like I wanted to say, oh no, I can't do it anymore. I tried everything. I trained, I did everything, and I wanted to get better, but I couldn't, and I have no success. I will quit. I will quit playing Flappy Birds. So this was the initial planned video that I never made, because I actually never played Flappy Bird for myself. I haven't had it on the system, which wouldn't have made any matter in that video anyways, but just so you know how long I've planned it, and this time I just threw it in. One thing quickly though, in every joke there is a little bit of seriousness, and yes, I thought a lot of times already about quitting, and I've talked about that with Noah yesterday on G+. There is a little bit things that I am upset the last few days, let's say 2 weeks, because the contacts from where I get my review didn't reply as I was used to it. So I was a little bit down because of that. And then also I saw just recently so many channels that have like a fraction of my videos, like 30, 50 or so, surpassing me so fast. And this is not about jealousy or so, their quality is definitely on a different level, but it's still disappointing and painful to see that I invested like over 2 years now. I have like 260 videos by now, and I'm still at 7,500 subscribers, and then I see people who make this for half a year and already are at 9,000, 10,000, and people with the amount of videos that I have, once again, completely different quality, have 100,000, 200,000 and more subscribers. So it's painful to see that my lack of skill just isn't good enough, and that was a little bit upsetting. So just so you know from where it comes, it wasn't meant in a bad way. But let's get to the topics of today's video. I will talk about leaks again, and if you are getting annoyed by these leaks talks, just let me know and I can throw them out. But there are 2 leaks that I still wanted to talk about. I already did talk about, because those are in the media right now very often. The first one are the Sony 5 leaks. We got just today new ones, and the 2 issues I only have so far. It looks like we have a fingerprint scanner on the side, which seems to be in a reasonable position because it's where the power button right now is on the Sony Z3, so that is fine. But I am not quite sure what they planned with the volume rocker so much at the bottom. I am okay with it unless my hand while gripping it won't touch it. Right now, I checked it just today. Where my hand always touches, what it touches is the camera button, which is nothing you really notice anytime. So if that's the case, and if you don't touch the volume rocker in an odd way, or then I can live with it, because it won't definitely be comfortable to reach. You will have to regrip completely because it's very low on the top, and I'm not quite sure what they thought about it, but it seems like the real deal. We got so many leaks that show the same thing now. But the second issue for me is, once again, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people leave me dislikes because I bashed the Snapdragon 810 too much, but I don't see them improving the battery life drastically enough, because on the Z3 Plus, I see commenters saying maybe they get 3.5, 4 hours and still have 40% left. So it's really the case. It should be good, but the reviews I saw show me 3.5, maybe 4 hours of screen on time as a whole. So I'm not quite sure. I won't judge before I see it in terms of that, but yes, I have definitely my big doubts about the 810. So the second device would be the Lumia 950 and 950 XL, and what I wanted to talk about that I forgot last time is the design. I am not quite sure, and I will also talk a little bit about that later, but the 950, as you can see, it looks very cheaply made, because we have huge bezels for a flagship, way too big. I haven't seen a flagship with that big bezels in a long time, so not quite sure what they made of that. And the odd thing is, the difference between the 950 and 950 XL is, on the 950 the button arrangement looks nice, it looks reasonable, as they did on previous Lumias, and that worked. But on the 950 XL the power button is in the middle between the volume up and down button. And this for me seems completely irrational. It doesn't make any sense, because if you want to change the volume, you'll have to oddly re-grip around the power button. I'm not quite sure what they thought about that. Other than that, yes, we have a camera hump, but that was expected from Lumias. And yeah, it just looks way too thick, and the battery won't be that big as it will be thick, and the bezels are too big. And that leads me to my second thing. What does Windows Phone need to get people on board? Because everyone says it's nice that Lumia has so many mid-range and low-end phones, so people can get one really cheap. But the issue is, I think many people don't see, but some people see it as well, we need big flagships for people to attract and also to get developers on board. And if these two are the two flagships trying to do that, I have a bad feeling about that, because this doesn't look anything that can keep up with the best we have on Android and as we have on iOS. And then the second thing is the OS itself. I've used the Windows 10 preview about 2 months ago, I would say. And yes, they made improvements, but it was so far away from the comfortable use or the capabilities of iOS or Android. So if that's the big step they want to make to get people on board, neither the hardware nor the operating system is on par. But let me know what you think. What does Windows Phone need? Does it just need better hardware? Does it need better software? And what should be improved on that? Because I'm really curious. A lot of people discussed this already and no one gets to a proper conclusion yet. The next point would be lefty or righty. How do you use your phone? Because I just got asked yesterday if I'm left-handed. And I think it was pretty obvious, because yes, I am. But the way I use my phone, because the society makes you pretty much right-handed in many situations. Because I do a lot of stuff that I maybe as a child didn't do with my left hand, now with my right hand. And especially phones I never used with my left hand. I always used it with the right hand, and I couldn't even use it with, for example, my left thumb. Maybe my left thumb just isn't trained enough because of how I use things. So I always use it one-handed with my right hand, can use it perfectly. But the moment I use it two-handedly with this, then I use it with my left index. I think that's the index finger, right? I use that then with this, never with my thumb or something like that. And I would like to know, is that the same for you the case? If you use it one-handed with each hand, doesn't matter. Do you use the other hand if you use it two-handed? Because I never really thought about it, but it is odd, because I can't use it one-handed. But if I use it two-handed, I always use it. So just let me know. Just let me know. Yeah, the next thing was being a small YouTuber is frustrating, but I talked about it. It is very frustrating because being small, I just noticed it like 2 weeks ago when I asked Motorola for the X-Play. They said you have to accept that we have to give it to the big contracting firms first. And we appreciate you as a, what was it? Interested YouTuber as well, but you will get it later. So it just shows once again, I get devices maybe sometimes, and I'm happy that I already get that, but I'm always the last one on the end. And this also leads me to that issue that I won't grow bigger if I always just review 3, 4, 5 old devices, because by the time I get them finally, only my hardcore viewers actually watch it and no one else cares about it. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that once again. The video tip of the day or movie tip of the day would be Selfless. I just saw it yesterday. It is about, I know I can't remember the name of the main cast, but it is the guy from the Green Lantern. I can't remember his name right now, but it doesn't matter. It is about an old man played by, in my opinion, pretty much the worst actor since ages, Sir Ben Kingsley. I don't know in which role ever I see him, he sucks badly. And the good thing is he had a minor role. He was like just 10 minutes in, so he couldn't really screw up much. But yes, he was even bad in that time. I don't know. Ever since I saw that one movie about him where he was in the desert, it was the worst performance I've ever seen from a renowned or known actor. So he is pretty much about to die, and he wants to transfer his mind into a new body he thinks that is made in the lab and so on. And the new body then is the one from Green Lantern. Quite interesting film, definitely nice to see the science behind it. How they changed their minds is absolutely whack, absolutely so weak. They didn't go into it at all. It was so briefly. It was so simple. Just don't mind that, and you will enjoy the movie. But one thing I actually wanted to talk about was the one thing when they talked about how, for example, the great minds of this world could have achieved so much more if they would have had more years on Earth. And then the one person in the movie said, Edison, Einstein, and Steve Jobs. And then he said, imagine what he could have achieved if he would have lived 50 years longer. Once again, get that into perspective. He's comparing Edison and Einstein, two of the greatest minds of human history, with Steve Jobs, who pretty much admitted to steal his design and his ideas and everything. And what he could have achieved, man, if there would have been persons who would have achieved more if they would have had more time, it's definitely not him. But let me actually know, who would you want to have more time on Earth? Who would have you wanted to see gotten 50 years more to maybe revolutionize the world? I'm really excited about that, because personally it's definitely not Steve Jobs for me. The last one tip before, because not to make this video is too long, podcast tip of the week would be Untetheredcast. I already talked a lot about it. Taylor Martin, you know him maybe from Pocket Now, you know him from Mod, you know him from Android Authority right now. His podcast is amazing. It is definitely not about tech. It is a lot around him based on that and his friends and so on. Really, really fun and interesting to listen to. Definitely give it a listen. I just love this. It is definitely one of my 2 or 3 top podcasts of all. That was that. And the last thing, the word of the day, to make it really short because I don't want to drag this too much longer. Bridge. Die Brücke. No explanation. Bridge. Die Brücke. That's it. Because, just once again, not making it too long. Until next time, bye. And I hope you didn't take the joke that I did or anything else a little bit too serious. Until next time, bye.